Hi, Professor. Good afternoon or good day, rather. My name is Amaniki White, and of my fellow presenters are Nova, Kurdisha, Amandeep, and Anisha. And today we'll be looking at the NRTG's competitive analysis. So, as a quick background, NRTG is poised to design and build hands-on skill and career readiness through competitive research and preparation for the expansion in the US market with an emphasis on flexible delivery, real application, and then community impact. They provide practical industrial and environmental and natural resource trading. It's a quick overview. So, competitors are Direct Alder Leaf, Wilderness College, Indirect Washington State Naturalist Program, and Substitute Washington Conservation Corps, WCC. Now, Nova will take us into the marketing mix.
Thank you, Amoniki, for the marketing mix. This slide explains how Natural Resources Training Group, or NRTG, creates competitive advantage using the four P's of marketing: the product, price, place, and promotion. If we are going to compare it with Alderdief Wilderness College, Washington State Naturalist Program, Washington Conservation Corps, NRTG occupies a unique strategic position focused on career-ready environmental training. Let's look at the product, which is the strongest advantage of NRTG. Unlike Alderleaf, which emphasizes wilderness survival, or Washington State Naturalist Program, which focuses on public education and stewardship, NRTG offers applied job-ready natural resource training. For the pricing perspective, NRTG lowers financial and opportunity barriers, while Alderdief requires high tuition and long-term immersion. Washington Conservation Corps demands full-time service. In contrast, NRTG's course-based pricing and lifetime access provide strong value for working professionals, organizations, and career changers. For the place or the delivery model, this is another competitive advantage for NRTG. Their training is offered online, in person, and through customized on-site delivery, while the others are being offered in a location-bound or state-restricted location. However, this can also be an advantage for those who are living in Washington or in the US. For the promotion, NRTG's promotion strategy emphasizes professional outcomes and workforce readiness, while the other competitors highlight lifestyle learning, volunteerism, or civic service. For the overall competitive advantage of NRTG, it lies in combining practical, career-ready training with flexible delivery, accessible pricing, and outcome-driven position. It fills the strategic gap between academic education, which is being offered by Alderleaf Wilderness College, and a service-based program, which is offered by Washington Conservation Corps, making NRTG the preferred choice for individuals and organizations who are seeking efficient, workforce-aligned natural resource training. Now, for the market share, Amoniki will share the data.
All right, thank you, Nova. So just a quick disclaimer at first, exact market share data is not publicly available. So using BDC's competitive analysis framework, we're able to estimate the market share based on certain factors. To list a few of the factors are enrollment capacity, geographical reach, funding support, and delivery mode. This approach helps us to make reasonable, defensible comparison within the Washington state market. Moving on to the next slide. So we'll look at the estimated market share breakdown for the different competitors or substitutes. So the first one is Washington State Naturalist Program, which holds roughly 35 to 40% market share. This is because it's largely backed by government and statewide agencies, using taxpayers' money to fund it. So it has a huge piggy bank. Second is Alderleaf Wilderness College, which follows with approximately 25 to 30%. You know, while Alderleaf has a strong niche brand in wilderness training, its smaller cohort and location based delivery limit broader market expansion. Moving on, looking at WCC Washington Conservation Corps, which accounts for between 20 to 25% of the market. Although it's not a formal training provider, it competes by offering paid, hands-on environmental experience. And then we have NRTG, who is looking to break through the market with estimated or projected market share would breaking through between 5 to 10%. Now we'll look at a simple pie chart which illustrates graphically the different market share. Um, the chart, summarizes the estimated market share visually. It establishes and publicly supported programs dominate the market, but it highlights room for growth. NRTG's flexibility, modular and resource and training program position is well gradually increasing the market share, particularly among working adults and career transitioning professionals or learners rather. Now we'll move on to um, NRTG and the Washington opportunity, which Anisha will take over.
Thank you, Maniki. So today I will be talking about the NRTC and why it has a strong advantages when entering the Washington state. The Washington state has a growing need for skilled worker to natural resources like forestry, water, and conservations. But right now, there are not enough training programs that are flexible, career focused, and accessible to the adults. So we have basically chosen the three main players for this as a direct competitors, indirect, and the substitute one. Can you move to the next slide? The first one is we have chosen as for the direct competitors, we have chosen the Alderleaf Wilderness College. So I have already break down the conversion table for the strength. So what is like compared to the Alderleaf, the NRTG offer broader and more practical training. They teach wilderness skill for fun. They also train people for a real job like forest technicians or water monitors. So similarly, they also offer the courses they are online or in person so that people can learn when they work. So they makes the training more accessible and career focused comparison to the Alderleaf Wilderness College. So next slide, please. So here, when compared to the naturalist program, the naturalist program mainly focus on marine ecology and interpretations that often prepares people for voluntary roles. So on the other hand, now what the NRTG offer is they cover multiple courses. Multiple natural courses, courses, and often flexible. So its programs are designed to help students to find the real job and also support their professional life. So making them more employment focused as well as accessible. Next slide, please. So the as a substitute competitors, we have chosen the Washington Conservation Corporations and NRTC. So the key difference is that WCC is mainly a service-based program that requires a full-time commitment. So while what NRTC provide is it provides a structured educations with formal courses, assessment and credentials. It is flexible and modular courses which makes training more accessible, especially for the working adults. They also allow to prepare learners for long-term career rather than short-term service placement. For the weaknesses, I would like to call my friend Amandeep.
Thank you, Lisa, for your turn and giving me a chance. And now I am going to discuss with the NRTG weakness, which I will compare with the rest of the three companies. And first of all, NRT weaknesses. NRTG currently struggles with the limited geographic reach and strong seasonality. Demand drop during off-peak months, and the business relies heavily on short-term personal in-person training program. Next slide, please. On the next slide is direct competitor, which I am comparing with the elderly wilderness college weaknesses. And on this slide, I will share that Elderleaf offers deeper long-term experiential learning compared to this NRTG's training is less immersive and more certification focused. Next slide, please. And on my third slide is indirect competitors with the Washington State Naturalistic Program. In this slide, I will tell you that this program benefits from government funding and credibility. Also, NRTGs lacks this institutional support which affects stability and reach. Next slide, please. And on this slide is I will show you that substitutes, which is the Washington Conservation Corps, and I will explain that WCC provides phased hands-on conservation work, and RTG does not offer employment-linked learning, making it less attractive for job seekers. Next slide, please. And on this this last slide is key insights, which show you that we show you the overall of my explanation. In overall, I will say that NRTG's main weakness are limited experiential depth, lack of funding support, and scalability challenges. And that's all from my side. I will give you the turn to the next person, please.
Thank you, Amandeep. For this section, I will be discussing NRTG's current and potential competitive edge compared to its direct and indirect competitors. From our analysis, we believe NRTG's strongest advantage lies in its short-term and modular training programs. Unlike competitors such as Elderleaf Wilderness College, which follow longer and cohort-based structures, NRTGs allows learners to focus on specific skills without making long-term commitments. This flexibility is especially beneficial for working professionals and individuals who are transitioning into the environmental sector. In addition, NRTG places a strong emphasis on job-ready and field-based skills compared to indirect competitors like the Washington State Naturals Program, which focuses more on civic engagement and general environmental education. NRTG's programs are more directly aligned with workforce requirements. Overall, this leads to faster and more efficient skills acquisitions than traditional long-duration programs. Next slide, please. When comparing NRTG with the Washington Conservation Corps as a substitute, accessibility becomes a key differentiator. The Conservation Corps requires full-time and physically demanding participation, whereas NRTG offers online, in-person, and hybrid learning formats. This significantly reduces barriers related to time, location, and physical commitment. We also believe that NRTG requires less overall investment in terms of time and cost, while still preparing learners for near-term employability. Its scalable training model further supports expansion into the US market, positioning NRTG well for future growth. So, and with that, this concludes our analysis on NRTG's competitive edge. Thank you, Professor, for listening and attention.